Delivery scheduling helps you to plan deliveries and make sure vehicles are used effectively. All deliveries are included, so it's easy to spot if anything's been missed. Collections from customer or supplier sites can also be scheduled. Delivery scheduling can be used as a standalone delivery planning tool within CounterAct. However, it also integrates fully with Border's ePod system. When used with ePod, a driver can access details of the deliveries whilst out on a trip, and customers can automatically be sent email or text updates about their deliveries. Details about each delivery, such as electronically captured customer signatures, photographs, and whether a drop has been fully or partially completed or is unsuccessful, can all be returned to and stored within CounterAct. In this video, I will deal with delivery scheduling as a standalone function, and will refer only to ePod if the functionality of delivery scheduling behaves differently when ePod is being used. For more details of how the ePod system works, please contact the support team at Border. Planning the delivery schedule is done on a board or summary page, where each column represents a day and the rows represent trips for each vehicle. Therefore, before you start using delivery scheduling, you have to do some setup so that your summary page is specific to your vehicles, your standard trips, and your branches. So I'll run through this setup first, and then I'll return to look in detail at how to use delivery scheduling to do day-to-day planning of deliveries. I'll start with setting up drivers. Set up your drivers using delivery scheduling, add amend driver details. You can see a list of current drivers here, and details saved for that driver are at the bottom of the screen. Click Add to add details of a new driver starting from scratch. Each driver needs a number. This can be up to 6 alpha or numeric characters. You can see that we've used initials. The minimum requirement is to enter a name, but in addition, if you wish, you can record the date of birth, start date, license information, and if necessary, license points in a separate tab. If you intend to use ePod, an email address is required and the box must be ticked for ePod account. When a driver leaves, you can enter a leaving date or driver details can be deleted if needed. Click Save to save any changes you've made. Now we'll cover vehicle setup. The first thing to do is set up vehicle categories. Categories of vehicles can be added or edited using Delivery Scheduling Facilities Add Amend Vehicle Categories. You can see the categories already set up on my system here. To edit a category, simply highlight it and edit the description. To add a new one, click Add and enter the details. The category code is a single alpha or numeric character. A category can be deleted if required by highlighting it and clicking here. The next part of vehicle setup is to add vehicle details. Vehicle and trip details can be added or edited using Delivery Scheduling Facilities Add Amend Vehicle Details. You can see here a list of the vehicles currently on my system, and the details in the lower part of the window of the highlighted vehicle. The most frequent driver of a vehicle can be entered here, and the branch at which that vehicle is most often used here. Entering the number of standard trips per day is recommended, as this maps onto the delivery scheduling summary page for that vehicle. If ePod is being used, then this box must be ticked. Once you've made any required edits, click Save. A new vehicle can be added using the Add button, and a vehicle can be deleted if you wish by highlighting and clicking the Delete button. Although after a date entered in the Disposed Date field has passed, that vehicle will not appear on the schedule anymore. Finally, the Add Amend Vehicle Maintenance function allows you to record when a vehicle will not be available for deliveries. Once maintenance has been added, when you view the delivery schedule, the maintenance days and trips are highlighted in yellow, and deliveries cannot be scheduled against them. You can search for the vehicle required by entering the registration number, make, or model and clicking on Search. Alternatively, when the search field is empty, click the Search button to see a list of all vehicles. The selected vehicle details are shown here, and previous maintenance entries displayed here. Click Add and enter the maintenance details. Click Save when your details are complete. An important part of the setup is deciding the types of deliveries and collections to be included within delivery scheduling. Basic deliveries are always brought into delivery scheduling. It is also possible to include any of the other documents shown here. In addition, directs which you collect from the supplier yourself and third-party haulier trips can also be dealt with. Talk to the support team at Border so that they can make sure the system is configured appropriately for you. The final part of setup is configuring user access. It is strongly recommended that full access to the delivery scheduling planning functions is restricted to key people who understand the setup and functionality and who are responsible for delivery planning. Users who need to refer to the delivery plan should have access to the Review Delivery Scheduling function only. Review Delivery Scheduling displays full details of the delivery plan, but doesn't include the functionality to amend it. Please ask the support team for assistance in setting up appropriate user access. Now that we've looked in detail at all of the setup required, we'll move on to planning deliveries. We'll first look at the functionality on the overall summary page, including how to schedule deliveries onto vehicle trips. Then we'll look at how to organize individual deliveries within a trip and how to produce delivery paperwork. Deliveries are scheduled using the Plan Delivery Schedule function. You can choose here which branch or branches you wish to create or amend the plan for. The start date defaults to today, but you can enter another date if you wish. All customer orders or unconfirmed delivery notes with a delivery date up to 21 days after the specified date will be included. If there are any unconfirmed deliveries for the 7 days prior to the date specified, then these are shown in a separate column on the summary. If ePod is being used with your system, then completed sales are always included in order to give the full details about a trip. ePod is being used on this system, which is why this option is set to completed. However, if you're not using ePod, then the option to include or not include completed deliveries becomes available to you here. If you have chosen to plan for a single or associated branches, then there is a further option to decide whether information should be shown if a vehicle is involved in activity at the selected branch or branches or at any branch. This is the delivery scheduling summary page. Each column represents a date on the schedule, and each row represents a trip for a specified vehicle. All unscheduled deliveries are listed on the top row against their required delivery date. Boxes on the summary page represent trips and are color-coded by status. The key to these is shown towards the bottom of the screen. You can change the status of a trip by selecting it, choosing the new status from the drop-down list and clicking on Apply. The usual driver for a trip, if known, is shown at the foot of the screen. If you are going to use an alternative driver, this can be changed by selecting the alternative driver from the list. If you have standard trips defined, then designated users can have the ability to block trips. This allows you to cut down the number of trips on a particular day, perhaps because one trip is likely to be unusually time-consuming. You can block a trip by selecting it and clicking on Block. Unblock a trip in a similar way. So that's an overview of the functionality on the summary page. I'll now look in detail at the individual trips or drops. To look in detail at either a trip or the unscheduled drops, just click on the relevant box. So I'll first look at the unscheduled drops we have for today. You can see here a list of all the deliveries. For each delivery, you can see key information, which includes postcodes, weights, first and second products on the ticket. I'll just scroll across to show you all of the information. To see full details of an individual drop, double-click on that drop. Alternatively, the Quick View button allows you to see the items on each drop without having to drill into each drop itself. Use the up and down arrows on your keyboard to move up and down the list of drops. If a customer order needs amending, then subject to control file settings, you can recall the order and amend it from within delivery scheduling. This saves having to return to sales and orders to amend the order. All of the usual salesman authorities and options that you have when you recall an order into sales and orders are present when you recall an order here. I'll just quickly amend this order and save and close. To schedule a delivery, highlight it, click the Reschedule button, and choose the vehicle, trip, and date. The trip can be an existing trip, or a new trip can be created. This is subject to salesman authority. If you change the date, the document is updated when the schedule is saved. Holding down the Control key as you click on drops allows you to select a number of drops to schedule together. I'll now go to the trip that I just scheduled these drops onto. The total weight of the trip load is shown here. If it exceeds the maximum load of this lorry, then you're given a warning when you schedule drops onto the lorry. Your drops may need to be resequenced, and there are a number of ways of doing this. First of all, by clicking on any of the headings, you can resequence the drops. For example, if you want them to be in postcode order, just click on the postcode. Once you're happy with the sequence, click on Set All. If you want to move just one drop up or down, highlight it and use the up or the down buttons. To move several tickets, you can hold down the Control button and click on the tickets you want. And then click either on the top or the end buttons to move them all to the beginning or end of the trip. Please be aware that if you're using ePod, you will be unable to resequence completed drops or any undelivered drops that would interfere with the sequence of already completed drops. Within a trip, you can amend the status of individual drops. If you're using ePod and Wemo, Wemo stands for Where is my order, then updating the status is particularly useful, as the status of a delivery can be communicated automatically to your customers as it's changed. To change the status of multiple deliveries, hold down the Control key as you click on the deliveries. Please note that you cannot manually mark a delivery as completed or requiring attention, as both of these statuses are automatically fed back into CounterAct when a driver records the outcome of a delivery on ePod. Once a trip has been scheduled, all of the relevant paperwork to go with the driver, such as delivery notes or invoices or COD invoices, can be raised in one go. To do this, select the drops for which you require the delivery paperwork to be raised, and then click on the Raise Delivery Notes button. Please note that how the system deals with deliveries for which there is insufficient stock, or for which a COD invoice would have to be raised, depends upon control file settings and salesman authorities. The Delivery Schedule Report provides a printed report or an Excel extract of a planned schedule. This report is often used to give drivers an overview of drops on trips, which is particularly useful if ePod is not being used. Select the branches to be included on the report here, and whether the report is to be printed or extracted to Excel here. There are a wide range of additional options to allow you to produce exactly the report required. On a printed report, you can choose where you have page breaks, so your report can be split and distributed to different recipients. You can also control the inclusion of completed sales and control how comments and memos are treated when listing products. When you've selected your options, click OK to produce the report. The final function we'll look at is the Extract Delivery Information function. This extract provides a way of analysing the number and value of deliveries made by postcode or postcode in combination with other information, such as branch, vehicle, day of the week, for example. You do not have to be using delivery scheduling in order to use this facility. First, enter a date range for the data to be extracted. The deliveries included in the analysis can be selected by the options shown here. The data extracted always includes the postcode, number of deliveries, and goods, cost, and margin values. But it is possible to select other information to extract. This allows you to dice and slice the information. For example, it would be possible to look at deliveries from each branch on a Tuesday. The level of detail for the postcode can also be controlled. So using our border postcode of NP25 5JA as an example, you could just show the postal district of NP25 or include the sector, which would be NP25 5, or you can include the full postcode if that's helpful. Click on OK to extract your selected information. We hope you found this short video on delivery scheduling useful. Please contact Border Support if you've any questions or would like any further information. Many thanks.